Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to Old Style Classics Baseball Cards. I'm Rob. Welcome to my show. And today it's just after midnight on April 6, 2024. And so got some stuff to show you guys. And all that hubba bubba, bubblicious, hubba bloob and bubba boo and all that stuff. Alright. So Old Style Classics baseball cards. Friday night, guess technically Saturday morning, but we'll just call it Friday still. And on the way home today, stopped at the Mojo Break Shop, pick up a few things. I'll split these things up into a couple different videos. Got a couple more eBays in the mail today, and then the ones that are still left over from yesterday. So two of these are related and another one's sort of, in a sense. So we're going to be doing, alright, these three eBays. This one came from Joshua Tree, California. We'll be doing that one today, or at least on this episode. Game Changer sports cards there from Moorhead, Minnesota. So some cards there. And then this one we got the other day from, I think that's the Burbank card shop. We'll be doing that. And I have this other one that I'll do on another video. This came today from Grand Rapids, Michigan there. And so we'll get to that probably tomorrow. I think that's something my wife's going to want to check out. So we got the Lucky Indian head out here, letter opener. Now this is something different I've never seen before. I was looking at their website, and apparently in Seattle, Topps had a special little box set they did for Seattle Children's Hospital, I reckon. And the proceeds benefit Seattle Children's Hospital. Seattle Children's Heroes 2020. Never heard of this set, but as you can see there, it includes one autograph card per box. Supposedly they're sold at some drugstore in Seattle. Been to Seattle, it's pretty neat. A little expensive, but you know, not as expensive as here. But like the stuff at 7-Eleven and those kind of things were kind of expensive. But Seattle's pretty neat. Rode the monorail, went to the marketplace, ate at the Athenian, and below that, at that little marketplace, which you see in all the Seattle, where they throw the fish around, it's kind of like a little mall in there too, mostly restaurants and seafood, but they do have like a downstairs, and in that, when we went, 2016, to go to a Seattle game, I think we seen them play the Orioles, at Safeco. Really nice stadium. One of the best stadiums I've ever been to. It's beautiful if you ever can go to Seattle. Really nice. Parking wasn't bad. Similar, not design, but similar kind of neat area where it's in, kind of like Petco down there in San Diego. But yeah, we had fun down there. But anyways, downstairs below that Athenian restaurant, and then the fish market area, and downstairs there's a card shop down there. So I remember that. So this little box set here that you can get. There's some of the players that I suppose that you can get autographs from. Of course, we're all looking for King Griffey Jr. there, maybe Russell Wilson, but like Sierra wouldn't be bad. Deathless Shrimp, wow. Edgar Martinez would be good. Sir Mix-a-Lot. Kyle Seager. What, no Eddie Vedder and all them dudes? Alright, so we'll probably do this tomorrow. So we'll check that out. With that other eBay that we're not going to do tonight, the one from Grand Rapids, I did pick this up there. They had a 2020 Archive Signature Series Retired Player Edition. So you know I like those, but I don't think I've ever opened one of these ones, the 2020. I may have 2020 that I got from eBay. But look, you got Hank Aaron as possibility in this set. And maybe Alan Ginter would be cool as well. But can you imagine pulling a Hank auto? That would be sweet. And then another episode I'll probably do after this one is they had these on sale. Topps Chrome Black. One encased autograph card in each box. Star Wars 2023. So I guess it's a 100 card set list. Now I was going to get my other Star Wars cards that I've got from, they've done some Star Wars stuff like this. But I think like the high tech or whatever, some of the Star Wars autographs I have, one big one and a couple nobodies. So hopefully they didn't screw this up like they've done with most of the shows. But yeah, so I guess you get like 4 or 5 cards in here along with that encased autograph card. So 3 cards per box, and I imagine one of them is the autograph. So we'll be doing that in a little bit. And so that's what we got this out. So let's give us some luck. Maybe we'll get a Darth Maul. But the one I would really want is Darth Sidious. So abracadabra. Join the dark side. But we'll do that tomorrow. So we'll give it a little zoom. Abracadabra for tonight. Boom boom. And see what we get on those. But we're not going to do that yet on Old Style Classics baseball cards. Hey, can you guys do me a favor if you're new to watching my videos? You know, I like old style cards. They don't have to be old. They could be new cards, old fashioned looking like Alan Ginter. If you could do me a favor, because I'd do the same for you, is please subscribe to my channel. You know, leave some comments and likes. That I would appreciate it, so that my videos can reach more people. Watched Mangini's one of his videos today where talking about the girlfriend shrunk his Shoeless Joe Jackson card, and he showed the little Cracker Jack card, and I told him, I was like, oh, that was my favorite card you showed in that set, and he responded back, hey, I love that card too. So thanks for John Mangini for responding to me. And I don't think I have any other comments, any other shout outs. I'm going to take that off the screen. You know, so if you're new to the channel, I like old style cards, whether they're really old or modern old, if that makes any sense. So there's a 2008 Alan Ginter Babe Ruth mini tobacco card from the National. So these are the kind of things I like, and of course I like original Alan Ginters from the 1800s or T206 and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of my wheelhouse. I like pre-war, and then mostly I guess modern from the 80s on up to today. Don't do a whole lot of 80s. I do some here and there because I got most of the stuff I wanted from then. Anyhow, but I do like oddball stuff too, like food issues and all that kind of stuff. So let's get to the Burbank card first. So let's see, I might need to adjust this camera just a tad, folks, so I don't have to reach as much. Alright, love these envelope, pretty cool. You just zip this little thing off here. So while I'm doing this, you guys can hit that like button for me and that subscribe to help me out. Oh, speaking of Star Wars, I saw the commercial for the new Tales from the Sith, or Tales from something or other. Let's take a look here real quick. Let's go look at my history real fast. Tales of the Empire. That looked pretty cool. Usually most stuff they haven't been great. Bad Batch is pretty good. But this Tales of the Empire looks pretty cool. So maybe we'll talk more about that when I do the Star Wars stuff. But I don't know where I put my Star Wars autographs. So, but at least that's got some other cards in there, so we could just talk about that. Alright, folks. Already 10 minutes in. Jeez. So this one, I got a couple cards apparently from Burbank Cards. Alright, let me take it out of this top loader. Now, if you know me, I love mini tobacco mini cards. So we got two, one regular size, one tobacco card. So we'll start with the regular one. Now these are just beautiful cards, and they're old style. Definitely an old style, more modern card of an old player. And just like who was it? He's talking about he wanted to pick up the original from 1920s or 30s, and then he's kind of taken it off his list. But I'd sure love to get one of his originals from way back when. So what we got here is an Obak, TriStar Obak Hack Wilson, and his still standing record of runs batted in the season for the Chicago Cubbies. He's kind of a stout, shorter dude, but just huge. Just, what he hit, 57 home runs, I believe. And so let's see what they have to say about old Hack Wilson here. This is from 2011, so I think this is the last year they did Obak, which is a shame because I really liked this. This is like TriStar's version of Allen and Ginter, but mostly based on minor leagues. But looks like at this point in time they probably lost that license as opposed to the first year. Let's see if we see anything here. See if we can get the focus going today. Yeah, so it's not endorsed by MLB or minor league baseball. That's a shame. These are really nice cards. And it's kind of funny, it doesn't really say, does it say Hack Wilson anywhere on there? It just says Wilson. But anyways, Chicago Cub great, Hack Wilson, Hall of Famer. Wilson was a power-hitting outfielder for the Chicago National League. During the 1920s and 30s, in 1930, Hack hit 56 home runs, sorry, I was off by one, and set a single-season RBI record with 191. That same season, Wilson recorded a .356 batting average and was named NL's unofficial MVP since there was no official award presented in 1930. Hack's career ended in 1934, and he was elected to the Hall of Fame in 1979. So it took him a while to get there, but so that's cool. They give you the minor league and major league record. So if you don't know anything about Obak, Obaks were from like 1909 on West Coast Tobacco Company, and they put out cards for the PCL just like your T206s, T205s, and all that stuff. So out west, the PCL, the Pacific Coast League, was kind of the West Coast version of the major leagues. It was kind of a little bit higher level than what the AAA is right now, because the PCL is still around. But it was like the West Coast Major League, but kind of a step below, maybe like Japan or Korea level, kind of. So somewhere between AAA and Major League is what most people consider. But anyways, TriStar, Obak speaks quality in any company. And that's just a sweet card of a great Hall of Famer right there. And so if you can get one of his like 1920s, I think it's Gaudy, epic card. Just really underrated superstar. pre-war that you can probably maybe still get him for a decent deal. But those are beautiful cards. I love the backgrounds on these. Anyway, so 1909, same time T206. I don't know if they're related tobacco companies in any way, but they put out the mini tobacco cards in cigarettes on the West Coast, and so they were different. Like I showed, if you go back and watch one of my videos where I picked up an original Obak finally, and you know, they're similar to this. They're more like T206s, and those were PCL players. So I think back in those days, you know, like Joe DiMaggio and those guys came up through the PCL. So anyways, yeah, check out Obak and original Obaks, and I really like this set from TriStar. They do have some football ones as well. I don't think basketball. I think basketball was the Turkey Reds for tops. But anyways, that's a cool card. So I went on a little Obak run and picked this one up. So that's nice. And then the other card I got from that, I'll go ahead and take it out of this penny sleeve. A lot of you, this guy was a little underserved in the hobby for a long time, but he's now starting to get a little more traction. And that is the great Stan Musial. And this is Musial, U.S. Navy, World War II, so he lost some time playing ball to World War II. So of course, usually these images are always of them playing minors. So anyways, that's cool background. Tobacco Mini, so just to give you an idea. Modern size card versus tobacco card. Just like the tops. Babe Ruth that I showed earlier. So that's sweet. Let's take a look at the back. So apparently this one looks like it's 2011 as well. So there we go. Stan Musial. Gotta take my glasses off here. Musial joined the U.S. Navy on January 23rd, 1945. Amidst World War II, Stan spent time in Pearl Harbor and Philadelphia during the war, playing baseball at the naval base. In his off time while in Hawaii in March 46, Stan was discharged. He rejoined St. Louis Cardinals during his career that started in 1941. Musial went to record 24 All-Star games. That's insane. And won 3 MVP awards. He was elected into the Hall of Fame in '69. So just one of the greatest players ever. Maybe a little overshadowed at the same time from Ted Williams. Very similar, but just one of the best players ever. And yep, he was on the Cardinals. So as a Cubs fan, but who doesn't like Stan Musial? I just saw my autograph card of him in the other room when I was looking for the Star Wars stuff. But yeah, I'll get to those someday. So that's another one of these Obaks that I wanted. It's a 2011, so I don't have a whole lot of those. So that's sweet. And that will go hand in hand with this next lot of cards that I got. A lot and a lot. Take a drink real fast, people. Alright, let me get this out. So then I also ordered a bunch of minis from one of those guys who had an eBay page where you click on the thing and you pick different cards that you want. And I did ship these all in just one little top loader here. Like a relic top loader, but that's okay because I paid for one and the rest were free shipping at least. Alright, so I don't know if they're in any particular order. We're just going to go down the line. And the reason these ones are important, so we'll do a comparison. So that's just base that you can get from buying packs of Obak. And those were the main set of cards that you could purchase. But this is like from Topps, Allen and Ginter. You couldn't get this in Allen and Ginter. You had to get it from the National. So you could only get these cards from the National. So same thing for Obak, when they were doing this, you know, TriStars had a lot of nationals or host some of them. So this is the same time, 2011. You'll see how much brighter the back is on this one. Maybe I'll get to this card last just because it's probably my favorite. Alright, we'll start off with my buddy Gerald Ford. Hey, Rob, are you talking about me, Gerald Ford, former president? Yeah. Hey, Rob, are you talking about me? Sure am. Oh, boy, Rob, you got a football card, I bet. Sure do. Alright, so we got a Staubach. Dallas. So, one of the teams I'm not a big fan of as a Bears fan. But that, you can see it's a little dingy by comparison. So, let's put these two next to each other. You can see how bright this one is. And so, usually stuff they do at the Nationals are a little bit different stock. So, we'll put that out of the way. Let this refocus. Alright, so this is N4. So, as opposed to this one, number 23, N, standing for the National. So Roger Staubach. Why can't I say his name? I believe he went to college in New Mexico. He might be the one that went to New Mexico Military Academy, I believe. But let's go ahead and put him up here so you guys can read that if you like. I'm not going to stop and read all these. Otherwise, the video is going to take too long. He served in Vietnam. Look at that. Wow. So there we go. So as you can see there, that was from the Chicago Sport Annual. I can't see it that close. Sorry, folks. Anyways, in Chicago, obviously in 2011, Sports Collectors Convention, NSCC. I always get that wrong. So this is limited to 199. So that's another thing. There's only 199 of these. So that's sweet. They do have a football set as well. It's a nice background. That's a sweet card. So I got a whole little set from that. Alright, let's put that one back. I'll put this one in the back. Alright. Sorry, folks. I popped that one out. Let's go down to this one. Gale Sayers from a Chicago Bears. Look at that. Giant moon in the background there. They should do a Warren Moon card like that with the moon in the background, but one of the Chicago Bears greats. Gale Sayers. Brian Piccolo story. Number 199. N6. So you can read about him. Their national card. So there's another football player for you, Gerald Ford. And I like that one too. Check. Chicago Bears. Gale Sayers. Oh, and a little off subject today. It's just weird. Like a month ago, the guy I was talking about that I worked with that kind of was cool for a week, and then he kind of freaked out. And when I first met him, he was wearing a Lakers jersey. And I was like, oh, dude, what jersey is that? And I think it was like James Worthy or something like that. And I was like, oh, dude, how come you don't have a Michael Cooper one? And he's like, Michael Cooper, who's that? And I was like, oh, dude, he was one of the greats on the Lakers at the same time with Kareem and Magic. And he's like, oh, I never heard of him. My boss was like, come on, dude, he was a great player. And I was like, yeah. And he played for my New Mexico Lobos. And he's like, oh, I never heard of him. So it's just a funny coincidence that today I saw on Facebook that Magic Johnson announced a day early that Michael Cooper, I guess later today, is going to be, has been voted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. And I was wondering why it's taken so long since the early 90s when he retired. He's had a lot of success as a coach, won a few championships with the Sparks. He coached my Albuquerque Thunderbirds when it was the NBA D-League. They won a championship with him. And I remember being a kid wanting to go to Coop Camp, Michael Cooper basketball camp, but just couldn't afford it. And that was a big thing when I was a kid. And so congratulations to Michael Cooper making it into the Basketball Hall of Fame. So that's sweet. So that's just a little side story that I heard today. But there you go, the great Gale Sayers. Alright, so the next football player, there you go, Terry Bradshaw. That's pretty cool. Kind of got those Steelers colors behind him there. So that's sweet. So yeah, I say look into Obak, people. You know, if you've run, like if you've run out of things to collect, you've done Allen Ginter and Gypsy Queen and Tops 206 and Goodwin Champions from Upper Deck or Panini Golden Age and Diamond Kings and all that kind of stuff. There are a few other sets of old-fashioned cards out there, which, like the title of my channel says, that you can still get Obak. Some of those ones a lot of people may not know about. Helmar Brewing cards are really, really cool. I'm going to do an episode on those. Some of those Cracker Jack things from the 90s. There are some other older kind of sets, like, was it Flair? I think Flair did some really cool old kind of fashioned stuff. So if you're a heritage or an archives collector or something like that, but you like this kind of stuff like I do, Obak is a pretty good option. They have at least 3 years of baseball, at least 1 year of football that I know about, and then they do have other odd stuff like these stuff from the National here. And I just showed you, I got that printing plate of Joe Bauman from the first year, so you can go back and watch that video if you want to hear that story. But there you go, Steelers fans and Mangini and all you Pittsburgh people. There's an Obak Terry Bradshaw, so that's pretty sweet. Let me see real quick, what do I have right next to me? Do I have that printing plate? Yes, I do. So, as you see here, I did get the 2006 Obak Joe Bauman printing plate, 101 for the cyan. So that was the first set from 2009. So that's pretty sweet. So like I said, if you like this kind of stuff, like the Panini Gold Diamond Kings, all these Diamond King things, or Goodwin Champions, or like I said, Golden Age, any of that kind of stuff. These Obaks are pretty nice cards, and they're really sharp looking. Alright, so now we're going to move on to some wrestling. I like wrestling cards, especially these mini tobacco minis. So there you got Ric Flair. So I know they had Obak inserts for TNA wrestling. So, there's baseball set, football set. I'm not sure about basketball, but you could get Obaks from the TNA wrestling, but those were more like an insert. So anyways, there you go. Woo! Ric Flair in 7. So let's see if we can focus this so you guys can read that if you like. While I take a drink. So there you go, Ric Flair. Woo! Alright. And then next, got the Hogan in there. So I was going to buy this Hogan separate, and then I found this whole little lot of all these cards, probably for what some of these people were trying to sell just this card alone for. So that's pretty sweet. TNA Impact Wrestling, which got a ton of autographs from TNA, which I'll get around to at some point. I keep saying that about everything, and then I get all this new stuff to show you guys from eBay, and I never get around to it. because I don't want to overwhelm you with too many videos a day. Like today, I'm probably just going to do 2. Centering's a little off on the back of that, but it's okay because it's limited to 199, so you get what you can, right? So let's see, you can read about old Terry there, Hulk Hogan, my main man, Macho Man Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan had their falling out. Real. But we used to love watching Hogan wrestling when we were kids and NBC on Friday nights back in the 80s. So hopefully you can read that. So that's pretty sweet. Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Mulk Logan, be a man, Hogan. Oh yeah, I don't dig it. That's what the Macho would probably say. And then my card that I would love to get from Allen and Ginter, the original set. Any original old version of this dude would be great. The Cap Anson. So pretty little more modern looking background for him, but still bright. Cap Anson, the first person to hit 3,000 hits. Now, of course, like all people from back in those days, they had personality and problems that wouldn't fly today, but as far as baseball player goes, this dude was one of the greats. Probably their early big star, like the Ty Cobb before Ty Cobb. And very Ty Cobb-like. There you go. For my Chicago Cubs, formerly the Chicago White Stockings. Not to be confused with the Chicago White Sox of the American League now. We stole the name from the Cubs when we dropped it. Instead of calling themselves the Stockings, they call themselves the Sox. But don't be confused, people. In the 1800s, the Chicago White Stockings were the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs changed their names a few times, and then they stuck with the Cubs. And it's because all the players on the team were young, so they called them the Cubs. So anyways, Anson is considered one of the greatest players in his era, one of the first true superstars. Cap played a record 27 consecutive seasons, and is the first player in baseball history to record the milestone of 3,000 hits. He was inducted in the Hall of Fame in 1939. Now keep in mind too, folks, yeah, he played 27 seasons, but they didn't play nearly as many games per season as they do now. So it would have taken a lot longer for him, you know. They didn't even play 154, they played less. And I think the pitching mound was like 40 feet away from the plate instead of 60 plus as it is now. But anyways, there's an Obak and Cap Anson. So, you know, I've seen better image cards of him, and I think I got some more coming in. Like the Allen Ginter one's cool, but that's still cool. It's a nice card to have in my set to go along with these other ones. So that's pretty sweet. So there you go. A couple dudes that have some milestones there. Look up Joe Bauman if you want to read a really interesting baseball story. And then Cap Anson here. Alright, now should I do this other card? Mostly because we're doing old style cards. I think I will. I know this video is going to be a little long, folks. Sorry about that. But I could do this one tomorrow, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it today because I got some other stuff coming still. So, oh yeah, news. I checked with the court because I got jury duty next week, and they have you calling in on Friday after 5 the week before, so yesterday or today, whatever you want to call it. And at least in the morning I don't have to go, so I have to check again around noon, I guess. Alright, so here is another. So there's a Topps old style classic kind of card. There's a TriStar old style classic kind of card. There's a TriStar mini old style classic kind of card. And to go along with these and my channel old style classics, One of the sets I really liked was Turkey Red, Topps Turkey Red. And I saw a couple of these and I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to pick one of these up just to have it. Not that I collect Turkey Red per se, but maybe it's something I might get into in the future. And I just like to have, just love the texture of these cards. So I just wanted to have one in my collection because I like these old style cards that Topps does. Some people don't, but I do. And this is nobody huge or anything like that. It's more just to have one. So this is a TRA-ZJ, prominent baseball player Zach Jackson for the Toronto Blue Jays. Congratulations, you received an authentic autograph card of Zach Johnson from 2005 Topps Turkey Red. So look at that, people. A year before Allen and Ginter, which is the one that survived of the old style cards. Not counting Heritage and Archives because that's more 50s, 60s onward. But of the pre-war kind of stuff that Allen and Ginter, Topps does. Allen and Ginter's the ones that survived. Gypsy Queen. We don't know if they're coming back or not. I guess Topps 206 is still around, but they were here, then they were gone for 8 years, and then they were here, then they were gone for like 8 years, and now they're back in just online exclusive minis. So anyways, and these are cool because back then you didn't get a whole lot of on-card autographs, and there is one. So, and I just love that texture that they have. It's like the old Turkey Red premiums. Of course, those were box loader size cards, cabinet cards. A premium from tobacco you can get. I want to say it was Goodwin back in the 1800s, but you would send in like coupons or proof of purchases, something like that, and you could get a giant cabinet card of a player from back in, like way back in the day, like the 1800s players. And so that's an on-card Zach Jackson, and I'm not too familiar with him, but I mean, come on, he was obviously good enough to make it up to the majors, so that's more than most of us can say. So that's top certified autograph issue Zach Jackson for Toronto. And I'm never a fan of those uniforms, but still, there's an old style classic baseball card. Modern, but I don't know, it's 19 years modern. You know what I mean. But still, that's a sweet card. That's got some nice centering. That's a beautiful auto signature. Wasn't lazy like a lot of people you see. And you don't often get people with Z's in their name, or definitely the start of their name or last name, to where you get to see somebody spelling it in cursive. So that's always cool to see something that you normally don't see, like a Z. So that's pretty sweet. So there you go, folks. I think that's a pretty good place to stop. Please subscribe and like and comment. And I hope you enjoyed these old style classic baseball Hall of Famers and football, wrestling cards. On old style classics baseball cards, we have old style classic trading cards. So there you go, folks. Hope you enjoyed that episode. I enjoyed getting this stuff, and probably come back and do some Star Wars stuff. Thanks for watching, and check out Obak's pretty cool, and Turkey Red's always a fun set. I think they did football and maybe basketball as well. I know they do basketball for sure. So, hey, there's plenty of modern stuff where you can collect all kinds of different things out there. You know, it doesn't have to just be vintage, you know, like these national cards you wouldn't get unless you were there or you're doing what I'm doing. getting them off of eBay. Hey, thanks everybody. See you later.